Wednesday's child is full of woe. Wednesday's podcasts are full of manga. Welcome, everyone, to Weekly Manga Recap. And my camera is completely off center. Hooray. I am Nick, joined by Quinn. We're back on our usual time of Wednesday evenings. Thank you all for joining us here again.
Yes, greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much. So many things to talk about. I didn't even talk about the fact that I had surgery last week. Although, granted, I was pretty out of it, but I did have a gender affirming surgery and had to go through all those process, the fun stuff afterwards. But I did want to note, because I was, this is the first time I had to ever go under anesthesia, I think, to my knowledge, maybe when I was a kid.
Really?
But I've never had any other kind of surgeries to this point. So for me, this was the first time, and I was very terrified to be like, well, what am I going to be like when I'm under anesthesia? Mostly just because you see videos of like people being filmed that are just like, I'm spraying poop everywhere. There's poop on the wall. Like, just like people say nonsense.
You get different video recommendations than I do.
You don't get the ones where people will wake up for anesthesia and just start saying inappropriate things that are like deeply weird.
Saying inappropriate things, yes, but
I came out of it and I was very terrified to find out what I did. I just compliment people. Apparently that's what I do. I told everyone they're beautiful. I thanked everyone so much for being so kind and so incredible. And I'm still a little embarrassed by it.
that you were so nice to people.
Well, apparently it's like cloying. I don't know. My sister keeps, she's gotten this thing in my head because I like to compliment people. It's just, it's something I didn't get a whole lot growing up, and I learned like it really does help people. So I just try to give compliments, even in minor situations of just like, hey, I'm in the checkout line. I'm just going to give the cashier a minor compliment or something like that. Just like, hey, those glasses look nice, something like that. My sister says because I compliment people all the time, it means nothing. And
that's bullshit.
Her attitude was, you told everyone they're beautiful, so it really doesn't matter. No one feels beautiful. And I'm like, oh, so now I am self-conscious about this again.
Nah, I adamantly disagree.
Okay.
A compliment is as sincere as the emotion you put into it.
Aww.
And that's all that really matters. So if you are legitimately sincere about the compliments that you give, it doesn't matter how many times you give them, they're still true.
Thank you. I appreciate. I actually did need to hear that. With that said,
don't be nice to me. Shut up.
I'm about to text my sister right now, like, "Hey, skank." I was told my compliments.
My friend who you've never met doesn't agree with you.
My friend on a podcast you don't really ask about says that you suck. I mean, at that point, who cares? I can just make up what you say. It'd be like, he says that your nose is big.
That's actually all we do in the podcast is talk about you.
Pretty much. We have so many manga to talk about. I'd love to talk more about all sorts of things, but there's so many series to talk about. 3 jump starts, a couple of regular series, big chapters all across the board. We really should just kind of get into it, I think.
Yeah. I think that this is going to be a little bit less of a recap-y kind of podcast, maybe.
That's not a great starting sign either, unfortunately.
That happens in Ichi the Witch, which is 58th Hunt. It opens up. God damn it. Don't do this to me, computer. Don't do this to me.
We're caught up now. 58th Hunt, Nurture the Future.
Right. Starts off with a internal discussion inside of Jikishirone's magic circle, where she's talking with like actual Jikishirone, and we learned that the prophecy magic is referred to as Sammy, and they have a discussion. Jikishirone scolds her over the way that she talked about the baby, and says like, and Sammy's like, I didn't say anything wrong. She's like, yeah, well, no, you did, you absolutely did, and also you're not being truthful, because I know for a fact that you want a world where humans and magics can coexist in peace. And she says this while reaching across and folding their hands together in a way that's very heterosexual and platonic.
Yep,
And
this is definitely the straightest. These are roommate scene. It's astonishing. They might as well have like locking wedding rings on in this scene or something like that.
Jikishirane says, I know you want them more than anyone. Try having faith, Sammy. Then someday, surely someday. And then she wakes up. Turns out that the prophecy magic was taken below deck after all the fighting. And also, Ichi's in another bed. They're both recovering. And oh gosh, I've forgotten her name. Melissa? Is that
Oh gosh, I don't remember her name either. Pregnant lady.
Yeah. Very good.
Minerva.
She says like, oh, Minerva. I was so close. God damn it. She explains like, hey, there's a meeting going on because the octopon magic is gone currently, but it's going to be coming back. They're planning out something, and we get a brief shot of like the war room where Chrono and Descarus are planning together. And Jikishirane is like, all right, I don't care about that. She starts to like try and kick back, but Minerva says, hey, I'm sorry that I slapped you before. I really didn't like what you said, but I should not have actually struck you. Violence is bad. Jikishirane is like, all right, well, I'm not going to apologize for what I said, though. And she starts to, put on airs like, ha ha ha, all this, stuff, stupid human magic and all that. What if your baby turns out to be a monster? And Minerva sees through all her bullshit and says, yeah, I knew it. You really are nice deep down. Because, she's actually thinking about all these things. And she says that Chrono is also really worried about what the nature of the baby is going to be. But she reiterates that she is going to, try and carry forward this life. She says that at one point Chrono was like, oh, I'll use my magic so it was never conceived. And she got really pissed off at him. And she says, I want Crow to be happy. I want our baby to be happy. And our child is my wish given form. And so Sammy, Jikishirane, remembers what the real Jikishirane said and says, even as different as we are, I'm sure that together we can nurture a future full of happiness. And recalling that, she reaches out and Minerva accepts her hand and puts it to her belly where the baby is.
Aww.
And then she has a vision of the baby getting killed in one of the most horrific visuals we've seen.
It's one of the more gruesome shots in Jump recently. And that's even considering that, like, Gonron has, like, 8 people get decapitated each week.
Yeah, she just has a vision of Minerva being out, just straight up speared through her stomach, and immediately Jikishirane, or Sammy, reacts, jumps out of bed, and Minerva is like worried for her, like, oh my gosh, you're covered in sweat, and she runs off, bursts into the war room, and says, I'm helping too.
Very cool. I like the chapter. Sammy, Jikishirane, I don't know what we call that collective character at this point. But I guess Sammy is the, individual that's currently operating things. This was a great chapter for them. I love Minerva just calling out, like, hey, you actually really care a lot about this baby. I really appreciate that. Like, I know you're a good person deep down. Even though, they're just sitting there. Sammy's like, oh, your baby's going to be a hideous monster. Like, just really being crappy. It's nice to see someone kind of see through that and hit in there. And it's a very cool, empowering moment of her seeing this horrible future after recalling this very platonic and heterosexual conversation with her mental roommate. And then being, driven to the conviction of, like, no matter what, I'm helping in this situation. And I think that's really cool.
When you hear a expecting mother talking about how her child is her wish for her life with her husband given form, you definitely think about your platonic best friend.
I definitely, yeah. Anytime I, like, pass by wedding rings, I'm like, I should think about Nick right now. No, that's not the correct way we should be going about this.
Oh, we've got Blue Box. It's chapter 218, A Place of Memories. Last time, Hina wanted to just kind of pull Taiki aside before they went back to reunite with the rest of the zoo group. And they find a gazebo, a dreaded gazebo, Quinn.
God, does anyone even know what that joke is anymore?
That's gonna be, if you're, older than 25 and you play D&D, you've heard it. I don't know if that applies for if you're under 25 though. So.
Have they heard it though? Wasn't that like an old forum meme?
I think that it was an old thing even before that. I think it's like pre-internet as a joke, and it just got kind of passed around different groups.
Well,
so.
I guess leave a comment if you're relatively newish to D&D. Have you heard of the gazebo joke?
Yeah, it's not even a joke.
Or not even a joke.
It's allegedly a tabletop group story.
Yeah.
That got passed around. Anyway, Taiki sits down with Hina, thanks her for everything, and says, you brought me here, and I've been feeling really good, and I know that you did this to basically cheer me up. And Hina says, all right, well, now that you know that, then you better do your best. And Taiki says, yeah, okay, yeah, I can't stay down forever. Then he notices a butterfly, and Hina's like, oh yeah, what a beautiful dancing butterfly. And Taiki says, takes one to know one, because she's Chono, she's a butterfly thing. Yeah. So Hina explains that this place is important to her because it had a lot of memories of her and her dad going on. We get a flashback to when Hina was a kid, and we learn how her father's background as a famous gymnast affected her upbringing. And it turns out that despite the fact that he was busy with gymnastic stuff, Hina's dad's pretty damn cool. He, like at one point, she's falling behind, and she's down in a crowd, and he picks her up. She bumps into him with the ice cream, and he says like, hey, it's okay, I'm not going to get mad at you over this. There are some fans that approach him, and they're like, oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you? And he's like, I'm with my family right now, sorry. So just like, yeah, very good, cool dad stuff. And then they go right on the merry-go-round and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, cherished memories for Hina. And it ends on this very cute scene of her riding the merry-go-round. And as she goes around, she spots her dad, who's got like his head in his hand, and he's crying. And it's like, oh, this guy just like fucking loves his daughter. It's very sweet. And he actually like apologized afterwards, like, I'm sorry that I can't be there for you like the way that like a father's supposed to be, like, because he's thinking about in that moment, like, I am missing out on stuff because I am so busy with my career, so I'm missing out on all these moments with my daughter. So in the present, Hina says to Taiki, people might have started seeing you as superhuman without you realizing it. Even people who seem strong on the outside still have weaknesses. And for my dad, it was being a parent. And so she says, like, look, sometimes we tell ourselves that, like, feeling weak, feeling anxiety are weaknesses, they're bad things, but it's normal to do that. And taking action while you're feeling that way is what helps you to get stronger. So she says, like, just think of, like these feelings that you have as like weights in your weight training. And she kind of gives her like a, do your best kind of look. And Taiki says, oh, you're really cool. This has clearly affected him and had a positive impact. But as she looks at him, Hina is clearly captivated as he just says, like, yeah, I really was like suppressing things. I was like pushing down these thoughts that I thought was bad, and I pretended these negative thoughts weren't there, but thanks, I'll try that, and I'm gonna get stronger because of this. And Hina just thinks in that moment, I'll do my best to help Taiki. And as the butterfly flutters by, she leans in and kisses him on the cheek while he's not paying attention. And Taiki immediately gets up off the bench like he's been set on fire, and says, "What was that?" And we're left with Hina's expression. Oh dear. So
It's this is a great chapter. One, we get this great backstory of Hina and her relationship with her father, who, as you said, very cool dude, despite being, a celebrity in Japan. Seems to be like a very well-adjusted person. However, he carries a lot of guilt over the fact that he has been, very popular and not around his child a lot. It's, a very relatable kind of story about feeling like you're not enough and you don't deserve something. And also I love, Hina's dress for some reason. I don't know why. It's adorable. It looks like
the big onesie dress.
yeah,
thing.
it looks like it was ripped straight off of a doll for some reason, like a really old doll. And that's great. But then, of course, it has to, and also there's this great moment of Hina's encouragement. I actually like screenshotted the think of your insecurities as weights and treat them as part of your strength training. Cause I was like, yeah, it's kind of a nice motivational way to look at your own sort of hangups and work through them. So like, just great chapter, great vibes. And then you're like, oh God, she kissed him. Oh, Hina, no. Oh, girl. I was really hoping it wasn't going to go this badly for her. But, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be an awkward situation for a bit.
Yeah. And we'll see what the overall impact on Taiki in terms of his badminton is going to be too. Because, oh boy, you're dealing with all these stuff, like all these feelings of stress and everything like that. You want another one, Taiki? You want another little bit of stress added on?
Hey, yeah, because now you're going to have to tell Chinatsu about this, hopefully. I say hopefully because it certainly would be the wrong decision to hide it. But that's certainly not going to be a fun conversation. Like, what happens to this friendship now? This
Yeah.
Things could be in jeopardy if people aren't cool about this. And unfortunately, everyone involved is like 16 years old. So it's potentially going to be a pretty big move for these characters. And I hope it goes well. That's all I can say. It's just it's a train wreck that you're watching happen actively.
Yeah. Oh, Hina. God damn it. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 220, Bonds and Michigan. We get a different version of Yoru's bang, which is rat-tat-tat-tat-tat, which I appreciate. She's doing a rapid fire with her guns as she is fighting against Chainsaw Man. There's a funny moment where Chainsaw Man is darting around her, and she goes, there, bang, and totally misses him, and he kicks her in the stomach.
I do always find Yoru really great when she is acting like she is in control and then falls flat on her face. It's always just very delightful.
She even does like that dramatic I'm closing my eyes to sense his movement thing and then just misses. She goes. She calls the moray eel devil to her and Pochita just chops it up and eats it before anything. But Yoru,
in fairness, how many people are really afraid of moray eels? I don't like them. But, like, my chances of running into one are very limited.
Yeah. Yoru, however, is undeterred and says to Chainsaw Man, before you and I always stood alone, but I've changed. I've learned to depend on others. I saw the human stupidity and we devils' sublimity. I discovered the magnificence of friends and family. So she calls out a whole bunch of devils to attack Chainsaw Man, who, starts cutting them up while Yoru says like you lack friends, and he just chops all their heads off and starts eating them.
I also like this move of Yoru being like, I've changed, I've learned to depend on others. Like, when did you learn this lesson? I don't think you have. I've never met any of these people.
Chainsaw Man dives in to go after Yoru, but she holds her hand out and declares, Michigan Sword. And we get narration that says, Chainsaw Man versus War Devil, as documented by Fumiko Mifune. The state of Michigan collapses at 11:23 a.m.
I will only
Well,
be okay with this sword if it's like straight, but then it has like this weird little fucked up hanging peninsula off of it, where you're just like, I don't. You're one shape. This is one state you just took over. Um, I'm also a little bit nervous at this narration because I'm like, oh, this is just the start. Like Michigan Sword is not like the final escalation of what's going to happen if we're starting to detail it now. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
well, they can't die, so what are those, how is this gonna go?
Yeah, I have no idea. This is pure chaos, but it's kind of fun. So I'm digging it.
Yeah, now that we're in the realm of just like, let's see how much we can top ourselves, it is getting just like insane fun, which I do appreciate. We
Spy
don't have
fam-
Don Da Don this week,
Yeah.
so it's just on to Spy Family. Uh, Last chapter, we learned that Mr. Henderson is seemingly in danger of losing his job. It was a cliffhanger that we left off on. And at the beginning of this one, we see that this article has been put up on the bulletin board of Mr. Henderson supposedly taking bribes, and there's even a photograph of him going over a briefcase of money that's being offered to him. And of course, Mr. Henderson's like, I didn't take any bribes. What is this? Who is responsible for this? But when they go into the storage room to his personal safe, the test answers are missing. And so the thought is like, oh, well, supposedly he was exchanging these answers for money. Now they're gone. And he has no idea where they are or who could have done this. So it's very suspicious. And a guy who looks too much like Hitler is saying that we
Yeah.
need to investigate this.
I definitely thought that as I came up, where I was like, "Ooh, this isn't the Fuhrer, is it? This is just a dude who had his mustache, right?"
Like, I think that anyone who has a toothbrush mustache is like, you got to really think about that hard. But if you have black hair and are a little bit dumpy, then you really need to think hard about it.
Damn, Nick going to the throat. In fairness, I suppose this would have been a particular style of look at that point in time. So, in his mind, he's actually trying to be the trendsetter. So,
one day, one day, everyone will recognize this mustache.
if people will look upon this mustache with respect.
As a result of all of this, Mr. Henderson is not teaching classes temporarily. So rumors start to spread about stuff. He's a criminal. And also all the people in his class are kind of getting accused of like, oh, I'll bet that they just bribed him in order to get their Stella stars and stuff. So their reputations are kind of suffering. Damien, brushes up by saying like, you guys are all F-class losers. And Anya says, you're in the language studies F-class though.
I love
Just
him coming
amazing.
and being like, "What the fuck?" Like, shut up.
I'm trying to make a point.
I'm sticking up for all of us. Why are you dogging me out like this?
George and Bill and all the people who know Mr. Henderson are like, who are familiar with him are like, he would not do this. He's too good a guy. Anya tears down the bulletin on the board and takes it home and tells Lloyd about it. And so she asks, like, "Hey, is he a criminal?" Which is a great little touch there. But Lloyd says, like, well, just because there's this one piece of paper saying it, it doesn't necessarily mean he is a criminal. What do you think? You see him every day. And Anya's like, well, I don't know. I guess I'll go ask him if he did anything bad. And she's like, because I can just read his mind and tell.
Yeah.
Lloyd, meanwhile, is like, I'm also going to need to investigate this further. And he starts to examine the photograph with like a little magnifying scope thing. The next day, Mr. Henderson is announced to be resigning from Eden Academy amidst all the controversy, though. And he starts to pack up. Some of the fellow staff are like, I know this is not good. You can't be doing this. But Mr. Henderson says, look, there are people who are going to be good applicants to replace me, and I know that this is disruptive to everyone. I'm sorry. Wish you all well. Ms. Schlag, the Tonitrus happy woman, is nearby as he's leaving and chastises him for, giving up on this so easily. And Henderson admits that he may have grown somewhat weary, which, he's a pretty old guy and he's been through a lot. So having this on top of it, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you decide, it's time to go. But Madame Schlag also gives him a Tonitrus bolt for giving up so easily and says that it's very inelegant of him, which is a nice touch. She tells him to at least say goodbye to the children, and when he does so, all of them are very teary-eyed. They don't want him to leave. They're saying well, you didn't do anything bad, did you? And of course he didn't, and Anya can read his mind and knows that. And Mr. Henderson's just I know that I didn't do anything wrong. My conscience is clean and I've got nothing to be ashamed of. He goes to leave, and Margaret's there to drive him off.
Aww.
Connie, however, smells something as the crowd is gathered and they start to disperse. And it is from one of the other teachers there, a much younger looking guy with very shaped sideburns, let's call them. And Anya can read his mind as he thinks to himself, I can't believe that the old man gave up so easily. And Anya realizes this is the real one, and if I catch him, maybe I can save Mr. Henderson.
I hope it works out for you, Anya.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavy chapter as you see Mr. Henderson go through the shame of being wrongly convicted and feel like this isn't a fight worth having anymore. And I kind of like them giving Mrs. Schlag some more, character. The implication that she's the one who arranged for, what's her name? Not Maggie.
Margaret.
For Margaret to pick him up, I don't know, just adds a little depth to that character that they didn't necessarily have as the tinnitus bolt lady. Martha, not Martha. That's
Martha,
it.
not Martha.
I knew it was something with them.
I was thinking, I feel like Margaret's wrong. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's interesting for someone who was such a cartoon character to have a bit of depth, but there's only so much teaching staff, I suppose, that we've actually really gotten to know at Eden Academy.
Yeah.
It's Gonron Egg next, is that right?
Yes, Gonron.
Chapter 3, at the waterfront. Gonron's got to take a bath because, he's been killing monsters and not bathing, so that's going to make you smell. But while he's there, he realizes that his senses are much more attuned because of the power that he's been absorbing. He hears some children wandering the forest, and then hears danger. There's a devil bug lurking somewhere nearby, so he rushes off with Oma, who is I don't know about this. But Gonron is I just got to move, so he rushes off. He doesn't even put his clothes on. Encounters a giant scorpion thing, and says to Oma, I gotta fight this thing. And Oma's you've already eaten 2 Drakark hearts, so you should be able to just kill this thing. And Gonron's what the hell is this? But when he just punches it, knocks its claw off. So yeah, he is actually just a lot stronger, and he just proceeds to barehanded beat it the fuck up and kill it. And then the children that he was doing this to protect spot him and are oh my god, there is a naked, blood-soaked pervert over here, and they run away from him. Fair reaction. Yes.
I legitimately a pretty funny setup payoff kind of gag. Not to jump ahead, I think this is probably the best Gonron chapter we've gotten.
But after everything settles down, Gonron is accepted by the village, who are oh, thank you for saving those children, absolutely. And Oma very wisely is I'm just a little thing. I don't have a giant eye. I'm not a Drakark, and I'm not gonna. You don't have to go through all this. So the giant scorpion is served up it's crab meat, and they're
holy
shit. He just devours the whole massive claw. And they're like, Jesus Christ.
Nick, I have a
Yes,
question for you because this actually looks kind of good, and I need to ask a
it
question.
does.
When you watched Lion King as a kid, did that scene with Timon and Pumbaa make eating bugs look kind of good?
That one caterpillar that Simba slurps up actually does look good.
I just remember being like, if bugs really did look that plump and juicy, I'd probably have tried a couple more of them.
I feel like as well, anything looks appealing if you have them miraculously pick it up and there is no dirt on it and no filth. Like,
Those bugs have been crawling around in like Zen garden sand, essentially, like not a spot on them.
let's see. The people say that they all fought really hard to earn their freedom away from the Dracarchs, and Gonron is really affected by this because it's like, holy shit, like humans that like don't have Dracarchs, lording over them. And he actually silently thanks Oma for getting him introduced to this. Uh, one of them is like, "Hey, Mr. Gonron, you want to start a family with my daughter? She's 15 this year." And he's like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know." And immediately Oma's like, "No, no, you can't do that. Think of your destiny." And they're all like, "Did that fucking egg just fucking talk? No, absolutely not. That's a fucking Dracarch. Let's kill it." So Gonron's got to run away with Oma. So yeah, all that nice stuff. No, yeah, they're fucking they can't accept that. But Oma says like it'll be okay because we're all going to like establish a world where mankind will be free and stuff, and then I'm going to be glad to have people like that among my subjects. And Gonron's like, okay, and he finds that very amusing. But then we cut away to another Dracarch who is, of course, got no shortage of human slaves, and they have received a message from Gandala of child of the former king, having fled to the human realm. And they pick up human and kiss her and drain her life force. Just leave her as like basically a corpse. And the Dracarch says, "What a perfect chance to prove my loyalty to the king. I shall slay the spawn of the former king." And this one's got boobs.
Very much so. She is quite a defined chest. You can tell because she has no skin. It seems it just like it looks like almost like raw musculature.
She's also got like flowers all over everything. So I wonder if it's like just kind of like shaped plant material.
Yeah. Someone will accuse us of actually being perverted for assuming that there were any sexual characteristics to this character. Like, no, those are just obviously sculpted stems that is meant to look like a torso. This is the third chapter of Gonron Egg. I said earlier, I do think this is actually the best chapter of this series that we've gotten. I don't think that's been a necessarily high bar to clear. But I did actually kind of enjoy this chapter. That said, not enough to want to continue reading it. I don't think this series has the sauce.
Yeah, it doesn't spark joy for me.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything particularly wrong with it or anything particularly bad. It's just not been particularly interesting. And that's really all I have to say about it. It would almost be more preferable to keep it if it were worse. But it's one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure that this means, of course, that Gonron Egg is going to become the next breakout success in Shonen Jump, and we're going to miss the train again now that we've done this. So, but we'll see how that goes.
It's fine. I mean, Shinobi Underground can't keep running, Nick. Eventually, it's got to end, right?
Well, yes, that's true, but
same
also...
with Kurabachi. Eventually, they won't be in the magazine anymore.
I read like the previous month of Kukurabachi, and I was literally just like, who are any of these people? When I read it, I couldn't tell who was a good or bad guy for like until like the third chapter I read. And I was like, man, I've missed a lot.
Yeah. Well, this
All right.
time we can make sure we don't miss the train, Nick, because we're going to be in chapter 1 with Hero Girl and Demon Lord Call It Quits.
Yeah, chapter number 1, the hero and the demon lord. Look, there's like a magical girl named Asuka, and she is confronting the demon lord, whom she has, been fighting with for presumably some time. And the demon lord's like, "Hey, so humanity's gonna kill itself eventually anyway. I don't really want to do this anymore. Can I freeload at your place instead?" Um, and that's the premise.
Yep.
Uh, there's more that happens in this chapter. It turns out that Asuka's like one of her really close friends was actually an alien biding her time until the demon lord was defeated, so that the aliens could sweep in and do their own invasion. So when that happens, the demon lord shows up and wrecks house. So the demon lord and Asuka are going to be weird platonic roommates. It looks like, and just try and do like normal stuff together. And yes.
Uh-huh. Look, I don't know. It's not horrendous, but it's definitely a bit that I don't know how you extrapolate this into a larger long-running series. It feels like the bit's already done.
It feels like this should just be a one shot when you see it. We'll see a couple more chapters to give us an idea of what kind of shenanigans potentially these two could get up to. But I don't know. This sort of feels like a tongue-in-cheek, vaguely comedic slice of the last series, and I say vaguely comedic even though it has on its face, which would be kind of an absurd premise. But honestly, I've seen so many isekais promoted that are just like, what if the super bad guy just wanted to take it easy? That like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen this kind of premise so many times. Sakamoto Days starts off with this premise, for example, of like, he just wants to live a normal life kind of thing. But then like, it is actually about stuff happening ultimately after that. So
Yeah, this might have to do a genre shift at some point. I do want to note though, because I was very annoyed reading this, like the couple pages in, they do the "Who are you and what have you done with the real like whatever" joke, and I was like, damn, I didn't even think people use that as like a parody of a bad joke anymore. It's been a long time since I've seen an actual just straight up like "Who are you and what did you do with the real demon lord" joke.
it feels as though I've seen this sort of thing happen enough that I was waiting for an actual twist to happen, to, like go further
Yeah.
than would be expected of this genre, or subgenre, I should say, of a series. And it never really kind of got to that point in this chapter. Um, so yeah, it didn't really do anything for me.
Yep.
What's next?
All right, we got Hima-Ten.
Okay. It's Hima-Ten, chapter 66.
More like Hema 66, am I right?
Yes, I guess. Yes, you are.
Thank
Yes. Hima 66, Christmas with the house cleaner. It's Christmas. Yeah, just like they said that they were going to do. So it's Christmas party at Himari's. Iamori is, like getting stuff ready. And he's there ahead of Himari because, she's got, some stuff to do. So we cut to Himari, who is with her coworker. She's like examining her hair in her phone, and the girl's like, "You look cute. It's fine. Like, I come, it's gonna be okay. This guy's gonna like you and everything." And so she has a prison as well for Iamori ready to go. And she thinks to herself as she heads in, like, I don't know exactly, what Iamori is up to, but she reminds herself he's only here because he's my house cleaner, and that's why he's setting up the party too. I'm not allowed to be greedy today, so she's still carrying that kind of guilt and keeping things distant between them in her own mind. But when she goes inside, Iomori has like everything set up for the Christmas party. There's a whole freaking feast laid out. Christmas tree is all decorated. There's so much nice stuff. And Himari's like, "Why did you do all of this? What's with all the decorations?" And Iomori's like, "Well, you had all the decorations like hidden behind the sofa, and since you hid them there, I thought you might want me to put them up, so I just did that." And Iomori is like, "No, I hid them behind the sofa because I didn't want you to feel like you had to do this. Why did you do all this? How did you do all this with all of this time?" And Iomori says, "Hey, well, like you said I was in charge of everything, so I just figured that this would be okay to do." And so Himari settles down, and she won't let herself be happy, Quinn, and that's starting to make me upset. Like,
It's sad because this is like a character trait that really has developed as time has gone on. When she started to realize she had feelings for Iomori, she has like really gotten hard on herself as a result, because she just doesn't feel like she should be allowed to have any of this kind of joy, but she's constantly fighting to get it. And it's rough. It's actually kind of hard to watch this very confident girl be so hard on herself regarding this.
and it does actually get very much put in concrete terms that do really make sense a little bit later on in the chapter. For right here, it does seem to be just like, well, I'm allowed. Am I allowed to be happy? Because I'm really happy about this. And Iomori's like, I mean, okay, like you had work to do, so you hired me to do this, so it's all fine. It's all fine, She heads off to get changed, but she first takes a moment to collapse on her bed, which is like, yeah, good. But she says, like, I told myself I wouldn't be greedy, but I really want to be greedy, and it's frustrating that I can't be. And she's like, I'm allowed to ask him to do all this stuff because I am his employer. I like Iomori because he goes out of his way to be nice. So is it right for me to be happy that he's done all this? As in, he's done all these nice things for me because I am paying him to do it. So in that way, it's like, yeah, she feels like she's cheating on all these like fluffy feelings that he gives her. And so that does make sense why she feels that guilt. Would really help maybe if, you like talk to him before. You guys are 16, I get it. Like, so and so she ends it all by saying to herself, all these things about the boy I like, I just bought them. So she heads downstairs in her casual wear, says to Iomori, hey, take your apron off, you're gonna eat with me, we're gonna have a Christmas party together. And so they sit down together. Iomori says, like, I do feel like I kind of messed up because I thought I understood what you wanted me to do and I misinterpreted it. But she says, no, it's fine. I told you that I was happy about this, so it's fine. And then they trade gifts. Iomori gives her a neck press because she has too much stress in her life. So that's a nice little thing, like a neck massager thing. He also says that he has the same one, and she has the brief thought of like, oh, we have matching things. But then she's like, wait a minute, you bought presents for all three of us, didn't you? So you've got, where are you giving Honoka? Where are you giving to Kana? But she's like, did you give them their gifts? Honoka got hers, of course, but Mori says, I wanted to ask your advice about Kanai, because I was thinking that maybe I should tell her that I am working for you as a house cleaner. And because like she's so nice to me, and I feel like I'm keeping something secret from her, and I don't want to do that. It's getting harder and harder to do that. And Himari says, okay, yeah, and I'll apologize to her as well that I kind of made you keep it a secret. So, and then she says, we can't move forward if we're keeping secrets. And that applies to all of us. Iomori leaves. Himari's left on her own, and she's like, I didn't even get to give him his present and she got him an apron that has her company logo and stuff on it. And it's like, oh, it was really cute. But she thinks, because I like him, I can't just be his employer who asks him to do stuff. Himari Yoshino needs to join the competition. So at least at the end of all this, she's trying to take a step forward. So
Yes.
that's nice.
It was not the cleanest of holidays, but she actually seems like she has enjoyed this day, and hopefully it's given her a reason to feel like she actually can participate in this, because I don't know, for a bit it's kind of felt like when are we going to get to the Hima part of Hima-Ten? Right now it's actually seeming like she isn't going to be final girl. So yeah, I want to see her kind of get involved. So good stuff.
Yeah. Now, there was definitely that thought for a time,
I feel like we lost Nick for a second here.
we did. Anyway, moving on. What is it next?
It is the Mage Next Door, Chapter 2.
Oh, yes. Chapter Dos. Yeah. Osoegawa versus Ice. And look, my legitimate reaction to this was, I know that it's probably a mage with ice powers, but what if?
First page just has like the little box that's like Los Angeles, California. I'm like, okay, all right.
This would have catapulted the rankings for me. Yeah. So, Osoegawa is still doing his, gotta track down mages thing. He's hitchhiking. We get a look at the next mage that he has to encounter, who's wearing, winter clothing inappropriately while he's inside. There is a guy who has employed him to kind of, strong arm the other gangs in the area. And so our winter mage guy is named Sage. And Osoegawa gets into a town. He literally just asks the cop, have you seen any mages around here causing trouble? So, that guy thinks that he's, kind of stupid. But when he hears the cop instructing, some kids who are playing, hey, there's the gang nearby, so don't, you guys stay out of trouble. And Osoegawa was like, oh man, it sounds pretty crappy if these kids can't even play in the park. And the cop tells him, don't you think about going over there? Okay. I won't. Shows up at the gang's hideout the next page. Oh, it's a simple setup, but I liked it.
Uh-huh.
So he just, bursts in unannounced. They try and intimidate him, and is like, hey, so I heard that you guys have been causing trouble, and I think a mage might be involved. And sure enough, Sage steps in, recognizes that he is also a mage, and so they start to confront each other. Osoegawa tries to use the powered-up water gun against him, and since it's water, Sage just freezes it, which, reveals that card. So more ice starts getting blown down, but Osoegawa sets up a trap using another one of his magic, which is to make Rubber Band stretch really far. He has the mini, I forget her title, but has her run down a hallway, stretching the rubber band out really far, and then releases it, and it slams into Sage's face and knocks him out. And stamps him, and that's it. So super rubber band takes him down.
Yep.
And then he tells all the other gang members who are mostly unharmed from all of this, hey, so I haven't been given permission by the Divine Magus to do anything to you, but I know what you all look like now. Stop causing trouble for people. And I do like that moment. He's like, I know what you all look like. Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, shit can get real. I'm letting you off now, but it's not a permanent stay of execution.
And then Osoegawa gets a base of operations. Yep.
He's like, well, you guys aren't going to be using this office anymore, so I guess I'll take it. Yeah.
I like this chapter better than the first one. For some reason, I don't know. It felt like it got into a little bit better groove for me, and
there's a bit better pace. Yeah, I would agree with that. I do still think that the biggest thing holding us back was Osoegawa, whatever our lead character is. I think that his very dry, uninterested personality is unfortunately not the greatest to kind of hook me into. I think this series needs a significant character with more energy. If it's not him, I need somebody else to like give me the excitement to actually get me caught up in this.
Yeah. Feels like the slacker persona doesn't even like fully shine through at times anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Nick, we have an Altar of the Flame.
An altar and a flame as well. Yes, there is battle in this chapter 26, soul grafting. So Altar gets stabbed by Hertz in order to start bonding with Philia again. And there's a whole explanation about how he's now connected to the world tree, which is filled with magic. But at that moment, Hertz gets a note that there's been an enemy assault, and Verida's in trouble. And there is a rabbit there.
Yeah, there's a bunny girl, Nick. Say that, and then let people imagine something, and then turn the page and be like, "That's not what I was imagining when you said bunny girl."
Her hands are big.
Her hands are big, and claws. They're talons, essentially.
Yeah, and she's also got not rabbit teeth. So
yeah, and humongous ears.
Well, I mean, yes, but Verida is in trouble. Hertz goes to assist, summons Roots to attack the bunny girl thing, and then is like, I'm gonna kick your guys' asses. Charges through enemies. Big guys show up with big hammers. She transforms her weapon into a massive battle axe, chops through it, and the bunny girl starts to panic, but then is instructed, hey, what was your job again? And so, as the bunny girl is surrounded by Roots from Yggdrasil being called against her, she manages to scratch it with her claws and then calls out to Calerio that the trunk has been wounded, and she now injects it with something, and the trunk suddenly is no longer able to move, and then somewhere else, Calerio clenches his fist, and the Roots start to turn against Hertz, who realizes too late that a spirit is at work here. Calerio is in possession of the water spirit, Ran, the Pillager. Of course, plants feed on water, so having the water that he has control over within the tree gives him control over it. Cut away from that, and Otor is on his spirit journey. He sees a shining aura, spots Philia, who is in a different form, who turns to see him.
Yeah, I sadly was not a big fan of this chapter. I think it's just, I don't know, it's a little chaotic. I feel like we're introducing a lot of elements, but also none of them feel particularly important. I'm not super into these new characters per se, although I do like the idea of riding around on a battle moose. That's kind of cool.
Battle moose.
Yeah, but generally speaking, I think everything's just kind of fine, and is starting to kind of feel a little messy at times.
I think that if you're going to introduce like the water spirit, the spirit that you would think would be diametrically opposed to the main one in the series, that it should feel like an even bigger deal than this. It doesn't feel like this has the weight that it should for something as, like on its face, like, oh, this, badass character that we've, seen how powerful they are and how spiritually bonded they are with their spirit. And then suddenly having them so easily overwhelmed, like, oh, that's supposed to be a huge oh shit moment. It just doesn't feel that way, and I think it's because of the pace that has been set by this series. And I don't know, it doesn't feel like it has the weight that it should.
Yep. All right. Someone hurts, Nick.
Someone does Hertz out there right now on the radio wave.
I kind of hurt right now on a radio wave, Nick.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Life is...
Chapter number 9, Bad Kid.
Oh no, this is the chapter where Mame starts smoking.
That's no good.
Well, it's because there was a radio prompt. One of the Mun Mid things was like, this is the replacement for cigarettes, in in a world where animals ruled. And he's like, well, I should figure out what smoking's like first.
There is an announcement on Mon Mid that there's going to be an anniversary sticker giveaway. So Mimei thinks to himself like, oh, I do want one of those, but I don't know about this. And before he can really think about much more, Mizuho says like, we're going. Of course she's like that. Yep. Mimei has this whole plan set up to like ensure that they get a sticker. It's got all this stuff ready to go for a whole ass trip. And Mizuho's like, are we going outdoors? No, we're going to the radio station. It's not that far. Chill. They head out after school, but Mimei gets distracted when someone's riding a bike nearby and they drop something and rushes to return it. That leaves them kind of behind afterwards. Someone asks for directions. They don't speak Japanese, and Mizuho manages to give them directions through very broken like English. Then they get on the train. There's a brief moment where it looks like Mimei is going to catch Mizuho, who instead totters and regains her balance. Then it starts to rain, and they've only got one umbrella. So Le Gasp, Mimei very nicely tries to like just cover her with it, but he's getting really, really soaked as a result of that. And so they take shelter. And then Mimei says like, oh, we're going to catch colds if we go out here. But then Mizuho's like, hey, Mimei, you can't be funny about being a good kid all the time. And the two of them rush out into the rain together in order to go and make sure that they get to the giveaway in time.
Yeah, you got to say honestly, bitch a couple times.
That's how you prove you're not a good kid.
That's what funny people do. Is they're a little bit bad. They say booger and fart sometimes.
If there's anything that watching professional wrestling has taught me, it's that bitch is the ultimate reaction getter. If you say that, everyone's like, oh, I never hear anyone say that word.
In fairness, I would also gasp if someone the size of Triple H, like if someone called someone the size of Triple H a bitch, I'd be like, this is going to go well for you.
Anyway, Mizuho and Mimei just run out into the rain together, and honestly, it's a very cute 2-page spread of the two of them. At that moment, the hosts of Mon Mid are in a car, and they're like, shit, we're so late, and everything's all messed up, and they happen to spot Mimei and Mizuho rushing along, and they're like, huh, maybe those guys are like listeners who went to get stickers. And curiously, one of them says, high schoolers don't listen to this old man radio program.
I've never related to
every person we've seen who listens to it is a pretty young person.
Yeah, they don't get great demographic results, but this was the moment I related the most to this series. It's just someone being like, no one listens to these old people on this radio show anymore.
Yeah, they just like us for real. But so anyway, they end up getting the stickers. Hooray. Mimei says, if we leave it like this, I can remember what happened today every time that I look at it. Like when I acted in Kill Bill, which was a joke that she told earlier. But Mizuho also like sneezes because they just ran through the rain. So they head back, get a change of clothing so that they can get warmer. And then, they get home and they're able to actually like listen to the radio show and stuff in peace again. And when they do, the host starts talking about like, hey, there's something weird, caught my eye the other day, which is I saw this high school couple who were just completely drenched, running through the rain, looking really, really happy, going to our sticker giveaway thing. And Mimei, in honestly an insanely relatable moment, starts to go, I need to correct him that we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. He starts to say, and email it to the program.
I'm so glad he doesn't, because watch you like, oh no, you're gonna make this 1,000 times more awkward if you do that.
And it's like the most like I can totally see someone writing it up and being like, this is an innocent and nice explanation because like I think that might have been me. By the way, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. And then you realize like I really shouldn't send this. And of course, then we see that Mizuho is also listening at the same time, so she also heard that they were seen that way. And Mime just says to her, because they're on the phone together listening to the program, like, man, they sure are talking, doing the free talk section a lot today. Yep. So awkward turtle.
I like to think that there is an equivalent for this for our podcast. That somewhere out there are two young listeners who are listening right now. And they're sitting on their beds listening to the podcast while they talk on their phones to each other, and they're like, wow, you know, the opening bit's going on a really long time, or wow, this has been a really long wrestling tangent. And you know, that's just what I'm going to visualize now when I think about the show.
Yeah.
All right, Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Nick.
Trying to follow up on that by making it as awkward as possible.
I'm going to barrel straight through Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, chapter 68.
New Sexorcist.
Wait, no, Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi.
Nope, never mind. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. Yeah, God, I'm such a wreck. Sorry. Chapter 68. Oh my gosh, what is this even called? The Great Demon Lord Helzebub. Last time Helzebub showed up, looking very ominous. And Helzebub goes full like spirit pressure on everyone and says, bow before me. What do a mere 5 exorcists have business with me? And everyone starts to collapse except Kiyoshi, who is strong enough to withstand it, rushes in to attack. 4 punches collide in midair. Their energy causes a huge bolt of energy to go up through the tower. And Kiyoshi thinks to himself, I can only go all out for 3 minutes, and I'm not sure I can go up against the Demon Lord like this, but I'll stop him right here. But at that moment, Shishido rushes past him and says, hey, not bad. Don't you agree, Bubsy? And Helzebub says, sure thing, Gory. And they go to punch each other, and then they high-five each other instead. And everyone is shocked by this until Shishido says, oh yeah, remember I told you guys that I had a friend in the demon realm? This is him. And Elizabeth just goes, hi! Hey, sup? And everyone's like, what the hell? Even like Shinoda and Mr. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. But yeah, he's just like he's just really nice and chill, and like the shape of his eyes is like, even rounder and stuff. And they're like, can you believe we're friends? Yeah, we've been friends for like 5 years. And Shisho says that he trusts Helzebub completely. So despite the weird position he's in, which is he's the freaking one of the demon lords. But on the other hand, Shishido is, you know, a member of the top 5 exorcists, one of the cross paladins. So they are in relatable positions in that way. And Helzebub says, like, nobody knows about this, by the way. If word got caught out, I would be killed. So
yeah, no one can know about this.
And they even indicate that during the Black Parade, they were protecting the Roth territory behind the scenes.
Where was Iron Man during Captain America 2, Nick? He should have been helping.
That's right. So when Astaroth was exorcised, of course, that caused all sorts of problems. So Shishido went in to try and stop there being, you know, like invasion plans and stuff like that. And then he got, you know, his photo stolen and ended up in prison and everything. So stuff's all messed up. Helzebub, however, says like, look, you guys got dragged into all my kids' reckless antics. And all of that is like happening directly out here now. And I'm going to try and stop them, but please help me to do that. And he makes this very great, big emotional plea. He even starts to cry. And Shishido's like, yeah, it's fine. We already decided to help you guys. It's cool.
Yeah, dude, look at our team name. We got a banner and everything.
Shishido says protecting innocence must, Kiyoshi rather says protecting innocent demons must also be an Exorcist's job, so let's all work together to save them. And Beelzebub's like, yeah, okay. And he says that it doesn't even matter if his children are his kids. If he will kill them if, if things go wrong, which he's got, like the mentality of a demon, so I guess that makes sense. It's been established that they have different morals. But he warns that his eldest son, Bobo, Bobo, the eldest, has already surpassed him in power. He also warns Kiyoshi, like, look, no one can find out you're in the demon realm, because if that happens, then everyone's going to come gunning for you. But Kiyoshi assures him, it's okay. I've got a great disguise. Then it's revealed that Beelzebub also has a favorite idol. Isn't that nice?
Oh.
But that is a segue for him to turn on the TV, where breaking news! Goro Shishido is a wanted man. If you see him, kill on sight. Also, can you believe this motherfucker Kiyoshi Harai had the fucking balls to show up in sunglasses around here?
I love so much. They do it twice of just like what a great thing it is that Kiyoshi has been using to disguise, because otherwise this would be a real mess. Like, he's really proud of himself. He's like, I have a great disguise. Thank you so much, Mr. Tosaka, for doing this. And immediately hard cut to like, and look at this asshole trying to sneak in with sunglasses looking all nice. And just Kiyoshi be like, oh.
Like the disguise that he wore, they're like, look at him trying to style on us, this motherfucker.
Eating our cheeseburgers looking so fancy. This has definitely been a return to good form for Kiyoshi. This has been a really fun arc in my mind.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
All right, we have Marriagetoxin, Nick. Chapter 146.
Yeah, we start this one off by going back to the conversation between the the beast user family members. So there is a bit of lore that we learn here that has to do with how, is it Toshiaki? Is that his name? The guy that's down in the pit with them? They all have toe names, so I keep missing them.
Toshiro?
So we are told that as part of the coming of age, that they are given a deliberately weak beast partner. And so Toshino, is that her name? Tonako. She was given just like a regular old Shiba Inu. Which, it's like, oh, isn't that cute?
With
but it's like
little tail.
The little tail. And so when she was first given it, like she was first really upset, but then over time her true potential awakened, and only when your true potential awakens will a true bloodline beast acknowledge you. And apparently when she was a bit older, like the Shiba Inu led her to this massive ass wolf that now serves her. And
I
she
thought
says
the
that
implication
Toshiro,
was that is the Shiba Inu. That it's just been getting...
She still got it in her hands, though, when she meets the
Oh,
giant
she
one.
does. Oh. This could have been another bubble fruit situation where I'm like, Nick, obviously the Shiba Inu grew up into it. But you corrected me very quickly, so thank you.
The same thought did strike me, that, like, what if that thing just grew really big? Like, on the other end, Toshiro was given just, like, a regular little bat, and although he had incredible ingenuity, he let despair consume him before he had even begun. He ran away from his fate, subjugated the weak, and holed himself up in a lab on an isolated island. And we see, again, that short-haired woman in the lab that he had been thinking about before. So Tonako's like, if he comes back a changed man, then he might be strong enough to challenge me. And weird-ass monkey dude is like, oh, so she's just never seen Toshiro as a threat to this point and actually wants him to threaten her. Her highest priority is the Beast Clan just getting stronger. But then she turns to him, Tokuro, and says, I have great expectations of you as well. You must have an interesting scheme in the works for the research you've stolen from Toshiro Onisama. And again, we see that woman and also a beast in a tube of a Bacta tank with lots of eyes. And yeah, so Tokoro goes, he laughs like a monkey and stuff.
I'm in an interesting position where it's been so long that I don't remember the Beast arc or any of the plot points in it. I feel like I'm supposed to remember all these details, and I'm like, crap, I think I need to reread that entire arc.
I was getting the same feeling, yeah. So down in the pit, Garo has said, like, I feel like you've got some burn that's weighing on you, and Tusher's like, no, I don't. And so he says, just climb out of here. And Garo says, fine, Princess Carrie. She picks him up to climb them out of there. And Tusher says, no, get out of here. No, don't, stop. And he visualizes getting vored by Toniko. And like, no! And Garo puts him down. And sorry about that. And Tusher says, if you go up against somebody that you're no match for, aren't you scared? And Garo thinks about Sensei in that moment, about Nasu, and he says, I am. I did gain this new power, but I don't even know if it'll work against him. Even so, I want to save, and Toshiro says, I get it, shut up, stop speeching.
So tired of
this
shit.
You prompted him, dude. So he looks down at his bonds. He trembles, but Garo offers him a hand, and Toshiro stands up under his own power, says, I can get up on my own. I don't need your pity. And I hate this whole idea, but for now, I'm willing to lend you a hand with the whole marriage thing. And Garo makes a thoughtful face, and he says, once everything is settled, I'm thinking it might be best if I put an end to the whole marriage thing.
Intriguing.
The name of the series will now be changed to The Whole Marriage Thing Toxin. But then we cut outside at that moment to two figures making their way through the water surrounding the prison. It is Ushio. It is... I almost called her the wrong name.
Rashiyama?
Yes, and I kept on wanting to say Himiko, and I was like, nope, that's her girlfriend. No. So yeah, Ushio is making her way through the water and basically is being her boat at this time, and they kind of have a little bit of a bit of banter about Ushio's fee during this, which is fun.
Yeah, I really like that these girls are getting involved. I like that we're like building these characters into the narrative again and placing something there as we get more of the Beast Guy and Garo stuff. But like, hey, let's not forget that these girls, some of them are like legit fighters. They should be kind of involved in some of this action stuff a little bit. So, hey, we're going to get them involved. I do feel really bad that the girl with the poison earrings, who's one of like the quote unquote love interests, is not involved still. She's kind of the one character that
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking the same thing.
I'm like,
it's like three of them are out of commission. Two of them are going to help Garo, and she's still not doing anything. But it's the one that we know the most about, right? No, it's the one who's gotten the least action in the series to this point.
At some point, they're gonna cut over to her, and she's just like eating chips on the couch. She's like, I wonder if Garo's ever gonna text me back.
Doesn't know anything.
She has no idea.
Even though her best friend's been kidnapped too. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing how things go. Like if we're gonna get much more action in this setup, since we still got this whole prison to deal with, and we've got more participants coming in.
Indeed.
All right. Now we're gonna do new. Yes. Now we're doing New Exorcist.
Correct. It's the cheer battle, Nick.
Chapter 122, cheer battle. Nue looks over the crowd, thinks to herself that, hey, things are actually like getting warmed up with the crowd, but she thinks about how, hey, we've still got to draw Soranaki to us. We get a whole thing about like Gakura still thinking about winning the sports festival, and then Suo's boobs win a foot race. So that, as a result of that, she is representing the white team, and Gakuro is on the red team, along with Ishu. So Ishu is like, I'm going to go and up against Suo in the 200-meter race. and I'm going to show her that she'll never measure up to spirit specs. And she like forcefully puts her cheek on Gakuro's lips to get a good luck kiss from him. Then she loses.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this with my boyfriend later. I'm just gonna slam my cheek and like push my cheek into his face, and I'm like, "See, I stole a kiss from you," and then immediately just eat shit.
So yeah, the red team is in the lead, but this is actually really confusing. Gakuro's on the red team. It says the red team is in the lead the whole time, even though Gakuro's team is losing to the white team. So at some point along the way, the scoreboard got mislabeled. I don't know if it was during translation or if it was like that to begin with. But it's established that Gakuro's on the red team and they're losing, even though the red team score is higher whenever you see the scoreboard.
This is actually golf. You actually want a lower score?
I literally was trying to wrap my head around. I was like, maybe they're supposed to have the lower score. And then I saw, I was like, well, their scores keep going up though. So, and every time that like the white team wins, like the score gap gets bigger. So it's like, that doesn't make sense though. There's a 3-legged race where they have like strangers, and it turns out that the white team has got Captain Sumera, the old captain from the Exorcist squad, shows up, and he's like, my grandkid's a big fan of that Kagura girl, so I'm gonna kick your ass, Kagura. Honestly, the one character motivation in this whole arc, Curly, that I'm like, I appreciate that. It's like, my grandkid likes that girl, so I'm gonna kick your ass, son.
I'm trying to earn some brownie points.
That other captain, the one that helped them before, she shows up too, and she's like, I'd like to help your team, but and so yeah, so Nue is basically continuing to like stack the deck against Gakuro to force them to be more competitive and stuff. So then I will say, for the first couple pages of this, I was like, all right, I get it. I understand what's going on here. It eventually, however, totally loses me. So the next contest is a cheerleading competition. And so they say the white and red teams will each select 6 members to perform a cheer, and 100 impartial judges will vote for the routine that they like the best. The number of judges that chose each team will be how many members that team is allowed in the tug-of-war competition. So basically, if you score really well in this cheering competition, you get a big advantage in the tug-of-war competition. So the white team has like Kagura and Suo and other people, and their panties. There they are. That's their routine.
I love that there's 3 girls, but we only established 2 of them, so the third one literally just gets Mike Wazowski'd over the panel during that.
Yeah. And then the red team shows up, and so Gakuro and Zeno are part of it. And they're like, oh, okay, they're going for like a novelty thing instead. It's like, which, you know, it's like, yes, that's a perfectly valid thing. You see that happen, I think, in a lot of cheering competitions. It's like, we're gonna have guys do it instead to like stand out with a novelty factor.
Yeah.
Then they've got 4 hot girls instead, and one of them should not be there. That's just Nue's younger form. She's not a student. She doesn't even go here, Quinn. So they've got boobs, and so they still lose though. And Zeno's really pissed off about this. He's like, bullshit! It was rigged! Fucking bullshit! We had the better cheer routine. Fuck you guys. So then they have a tug-of-war competition, and it's 84-16. So they've got 16 people tug-of-warring against 84 people. And they somehow don't lose instantly. Some guy in the audience with a mustache says, their eyes are still blazing. So like Gakuro and Shitatsu and others, like they just hunker down and endure. And then there are bets exchanged on this high school sports festival tug of war. And because they don't give up on the tug of war. In live action, the popularity changes and evens out. And a bunch of people who don't attend the school jump in to participate.
Everyone's like, get on in. This is a team. This is a whole stadium activity now.
So a bunch of people jump in, including one guy who's wearing like a ski cap. And everyone jumps in on the tug of war. There's heave ho and stuff. And the guy in the ski cap's like, oh man, what crazy team spirit. And Nue, casual as can be, walks up in the middle of all this, grabs the guy in the ski cap on the shoulder and says, hey, been a long time, hasn't it, Soranaki? Spotted you. Okay, so it's the spirit that they're supposed to exercise.
Look, I actually kind of like the end. I think that's actually kind of a cool way to introduce this character who you just like already defined as being like a big fan of festivals. Like, yeah, sure. He gets into the spirit and like lets himself be revealed because he gets too into the spirit of competition, the festival of it. It's actually like kind of a fun, interesting way of doing things. This chapter's so dumb. It's so dumb. But unfortunately, it's the exact, like, I couldn't help but notice. I was like, I'm smiling the entire time we're recapping it because this is so dumb. I don't understand, the rules to this cheerleading tug-of-war combo thing where they very clearly just don't acknowledge that the second side was also a very good, like, cheer routine, so why wouldn't they get the, like, it's just very dumb all the way across it at this point. But it was kind of fun. Like, I did have an okay time, so yeah, I guess there's that.
Yeah. I feel as though my sports brain went, but rules, what are the rules? I was like, it's not the point. It's supposed to be a big party festival. It's like, no, there is a scoreboard. Therefore, there are rules of competition.
All right, Brendan Lee Mulligan over here.
Yes! I don't know if I've ever disagreed with anything that man has said when he's been arguing against the game shows he's on.
You know, there is a little bit of a Brendan Lee Mulligan, Sam Reich energy in our dynamic a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Akane-banashi.
That is correct. Akane-banashi.
Okay.
Story 182 reward.
Reward. Your eternal reward. With a kind of 80s looking color page. It's very neat. So Akane is being brought to see Isho Arakawa following the Zuyun prize. But before then, like, Kaisei has met with her. And so she's like, so you're going to like teach me the ways of the Isho school? And Kaisei says, sorry, you can't opt out of this. Come with me. And takes her to get some clothes and immediately like is having the time of his life, just like dressing her up in different outfits.
Which one do you like
some
best?
of these. I am torn between the like just classic dress and the full pinstripe suit. I think that's a very strong look on Akane.
If the suit had like a because it's like an open shirt. If there was like a different color or pattern underneath, I think I'd really love it. Right now, I think it's a little too much, but I love the flare leggings. And that dress is crazy cute.
Mm-hmm. With the headband on her, yeah. So he keeps on pulling out clothes, and Akane, after seemingly at least 3 outfits, is like, "What are we doing?" And Kaisei explains, like, there is a dress code at the restaurant that Master is meeting you at. You can't just wear a t-shirt to see him. But Akane, like, looks at one of the freaking, bits of clothing, and it's like, it's 350,900 yen, which the yen is very weak right now. But even so, that is like over $2,000. That's really expensive for one item of clothing. But Kaisei explains to her, this is the way of our school. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Rakugoka grow with life experience. There are some outlooks you can only grasp once you're familiar with the finer things in life. And I suppose Master wanted to show you this world, otherwise he wouldn't have made up a fake meeting time or summoned me here for it. And Akane looks, like kind of perturbed by this and is like, why is he acting like a proper mentor now? Which, yeah, I mean, like, if the last several years of your relationship with this man have been pure, like, antagonism.
Well, also, like, he basically sent her to France for 2 years, and then she came back, and he was like, cool, for your first big competition, don't make anyone laugh. All right, peace. Like, it's not like he's been the most hands-on teacher.
Yeah, not providing direction, not providing, like, direct mentorship. Yeah, so she's like, what the fuck? Why is he just, like, trying to act like he's a proper mentor? Yeah. And of course, we also know that Akane, is not doing well financially from the last chapter. Like, she is basically couch surfing right now. But Kaisei says to her, I understand that, like, you feel like you're on the back foot here, but that just means you're a proper pupil of the Isho school. You have to see everything as a chance to make use of what he gives you. So don't you want to master a story that's not about being cheap? Fair enough. Yeah.
Got her there.
But Akane is like, but what about the money? Anyway, so
stop asking.
So they go to the restaurant. Akane has gone with, honestly, a much less strong look. But
I like the backless. Like, I like the cut of the dress. I think the pattern, I'd have to see it animated. It doesn't look very good right now, though, with that pattern. Maybe the dress color.
It almost feels like it would be stronger if it were just solid, honestly. But Isho greets her with, there you are. So Akane asks why she's been invited here, and Isho says, is it not obvious? It's a reward. So they start to dine together. Kaisei is kind of awkwardly further down the table, also eating.
Everyone eating silently as well. It's almost like painful to watch. You're like, oh, this would feel like a miserable moment. Like eating very expensive food in an outfit that's like way more than the rest of my wardrobe combined, and it's in complete silence with two people I hate. Like, I was like, nothing about this is right.
In a private dining room on the 33rd floor. So Isho says to Akane that he watched the Zuyun prize and that she did a fine job grasping her assignment. And Akane pauses for a beat and says, that's it? You did a fine job? Why did you give me such a vague instruction like that? And Isho, very like, as if he has seen every beat of this conversation coming, puts his wine glass down and says, when given the truth and an easy demonstration, a person never engages it with their mind. They simply accept it as the way things are, believe they understand it, and miss the point entirely. In the end, the only truths that a person knows in their gut are the ones gained through self-application. And Akane says, so is that why you deliberately gave it to me in vague terms? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And Isho says, yes, exactly. So Akane is like, most people can't do that. Most people can't live up to those expectations. And Isho says, that is correct. The majority will lose their spirit and fail to keep up, which is exactly why you are worthy of such praise. You did well. Only this man could say something so dourly and sullenly while making it seem like he's giving her a hearty congratulations.
I was like, this is legitimately a very impactful and meaningful gesture he is doing, but he is such a, as you said, dour person that it reads as like almost condescending and cruel partway through.
And he's just going, yeah, all right. Akane thinks to herself, like, this man is my nemesis. I'm going to defeat him. I am still burning with vengeance. And frustrating as it is, Hitting this wall and grasping what came beyond it gave me a glimpse of his incredible power. If I intend to be a Rakugoka, there's one thing I must admit. And still sitting at the table, she bows her head to him and says, "Thank you." And she thinks, as I get closer and get to know him better, I have to grapple with conflicting emotions, both my hostility toward this man and when she lifts her head, she looks at Isho, and she has a determined but restrained look on her face. So Isho says, "That's right. You came to me with a purpose in mind. In my school, we judge only the art. Here is your reward. I will grant you one request of me. What do you desire, Akane Arakawa?"
Eat your own boogers. What?
But
I thought you were gonna do something about that.
I thought you were going to think about this for a second.
I thought you wanted like a story out of me. She's like, "No, I want you to eat your own boogers on on public, so everyone."
Gonna put it on Insta.
Yeah, everyone thinks you're a big gross weirdo. He's like, "Oh, I said I was going to. This is deeply uncomfortable."
Afterwards, like walking with Kaisa, I was like, "Didn't you like have something really important?" I panicked.
I completely forgot about the Shikama stuff. Actually, I blanked. But
oh man, I really fucked up. My master's like dying of throat cancer and stuff, and
but I made his old friend eat his boogers on Instagram. So
holy shit, I've got 3,000 views already, and it's only been 2 minutes. Oh man.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the Isho Akane relationship is just, I don't know, it's just so fun in how uncomfortable but like begrudgingly respectful it is. Like the entire time Akane is like, "I hate this man. I want to prove him wrong. God damn it, he's one of the best goddamn teachers in Rakugoka out there. Like, for some reason, it means a lot to get his praise. Like, and I have to earn his like respect for this story." It's just, I don't know, it's just good. It's just a fantastic protagonist-antagonist relationship.
Legitimately, when I read this chapter, I thought to myself, the Akane-banashi anime is coming out. It's been announced, and I was like, it'd be great if I could voice Isho.
I don't think anyone out there cares about my opinion on this, but I firmly believe that you should be in more anime as a professional voice actor. You are very, very good at it.
I just gotta, find a freaking like company that does stuff out of Florida.
There's got to be one, right?
There's gotta be someone out there.
Like, that's actually where Toei is stationed. It's a
what?
Little known. It's a big Florida company. It's actually a Disney company. That's what people don't realize. All right, Nick, let's wrap up one weekly manga recap this week with One Piece, chapter 1165, Reverberations. So we are still in our flashback, quote unquote, the Loki flashback, but the God Valley incident flashback, yes. As Rogers and Garp have heard the true voice of Rox, who is being controlled at this point, begging for them to kill him. And Rogers is noting how this is all wrong. His word, his attitude, everything's just telling different stories. So they have a fight. Garp punches him right in the nose, and what seems like actually a very painful strike, even though it's very cartoonish, like, boom, got your nose. But yeah, these guys fighting, it's crazy. It's literally, like, God Valley eventually gets destroyed at the end of all this. There wasn't much destroying left to do by the time the space laser comes down. But both Rogers and Garp kind of communicate to their crew, hey, we need you to get off this island, like, get out. We will find our ways back to you. There's also like a character note that Whitebeard or the Rock's crew at this point completely fallen apart. Like one of his crew members is like, we're just taking the ship. He's not coming back, basically. But Rogers and Garp, they're going to work together to do this. Like Garp even has a moment where he's like, I was coming here to arrest you both. And, Rogers like, yeah, my plan was to get shaky and steal all the treasures and get out of here. But how about we team up? And Garp's like, I don't want to do this, but we can't let this guy go free. So they continue to have a fight, and they are, again, just destroying this island at this point. There is a cutaway over to Big Mom and Kaido having a conversation where Big Mom basically just kind of makes the promise of like, hey, you know, like, you're never going to be able to beat me. So, and you're also going to owe me this for the rest of your life. So one day I'm going to come and collect what you owe me. And there is also a scene where Whitebeard, walking away, as again, the Rocks Pirates have just sort of, you know, disassembled, runs across somebody perching on a rock. Their name is Graham, Nick.
Yep.
But they look a lot like Marco. In fact, their name is
they do.
Polo Graham. So
I fucking hate this.
You know,
Marco and Polo, fuck you.
Yeah, you know Oda was so looking forward to when he can finally pay that off.
At last, my Marco Polo joke comes to fruition after 15 years of setup.
Finally. So yeah, the implication being that this is maybe Marco pre, I guess, the Phoenix Fruit reviving him at some point or something along those lines. This is the start of the Whitebeard Pirates, essentially. And we then cut over to Dragon, who has returned to his ship, just straight up immediately, like, has the commanding officer at gunpoint. Is just like, did you know what was going on here? Like, what was happening, essentially? And basically forces them at gunpoint to let more people onto the ship at this point. Mr. Ya and Raleigh, they leave their ship behind because they know that things are looking pretty bad, but they're like ordering their crew. They're like, get off here. Like, don't wait for us. As Saint Saturn notes, that island will never exist, essentially. And we get the narration about all the stuff about God Valley. Just, this was a very chaotic event, essentially. And there is just a moment of Roger being like, hey, Garp, did you know about that enormous black monster? And like the person, like, you guys call yourselves the good guys? And Garp legitimately is like, I can't believe this either. So Roger's like, look, if you're going to quit the Navy, then come join us. But Garp's like, don't be an idiot. If I quit, then who's going to watch out for the rank and file? And, you know, that's the logic that Garp has used after discovering this to stay a part of the Navy, essentially. Rogers notes, like, hey, color of armament is, like, resistant to Devil Fruit, and I had Supreme Hockey on top of it, so, like, there's no way this couldn't be hurting him. He must be using his own Supreme Hockey to cancel it out. But that's bad because, like, if we try to extend this, like, we are going to be exhausted. We are going to run out of energy first. So the only way we're going to be able to do this is if both of us just put everything, all of our Supreme Hockey, into a single attack. Like, we need to just do it all fully. And Garp kind of notes, he's like, what you're saying is basically, don't do this expecting to survive, right? And they're like, well, I don't know. But they are recognizing that Rox is that strong, and with this situation, they basically have to do it. So the two of them start winding up a powerful attack. Rogers is literally crying at this point because Rox is crying, and the two of them do a big combo attack, God of Fire Ace and Infinitum Explosion, and those seem to rip straight through this individual. And then it just ends with the narration that the world government attempted to cover up everything that happened here, but the downfall of Roxy Zebek and his lawless band of followers, the Rox Pirates, who wreaked havoc in their era, cast unmistakable reverberations that shook the very world.
And then we come out of the flashback next chapter, and everyone's like, that didn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah, you were at the story at the start, but, like, most of it was some island you didn't even go to.
I was very essential to everything.
Don't you remember that part where I was like, filthy humans?
That that was the guy in the underwater place. No, that was me.
I also said filthy humans at some point, probably. Yeah.
I met a guy who didn't wash his hands.
I like this chapter a lot. I think the actual like development of the small little pieces they put in there are nice. But I really liked like how big it made this like beat up of Rogers and Garp over Rocks feel. Like I don't know, it just felt like a pretty cool part where they just combine everything. And I'm like, look, we're probably dying here. My assumption would be Rayleigh and Ya find them and get them out of there. But I legitimately thought this was like a really fun chapter.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have thoughts on it. I'm right back into. Okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like I never had much stock in this sequence of events before this flashback begun. There's been some neat details here and there that are informing stuff in the current arc, but I don't know. I was definitely more in the mode of like learning about like the current arc, and it feels like it's definitely taken a back seat for a long time now.
Yes.
And all I can think now is like, okay, this is winding down, so hopefully we can get back to the other stuff and then get out of this fucking flashback.
We're gonna have to still wrap up the stuff going on with the actual giants at this point, and solve what happened in that, but I mean, we kind of noted last time, like during the Kuma arc, when it's like, yeah, it feels like this God Valley incident isn't done yet. Like, we didn't learn all the details about it, that we just had to get another flashback about it. I just kind of wish it didn't have to be in the middle of another flashback.
Yeah.
All right.
That is it, everybody. Quinn, can you tell me what your favorite chapter this week was?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite chapter, I think, is going to be One Piece. In terms of chapters I enjoyed, I just thought it was like really cool and satisfying. I like that big combo attack. I like the little moment of, Whitebeard meeting whoever the fuck Polo is supposed to be. Some people are saying it's Marco's dad, but I just think that was kind of like a cool moment. And also the Marco Polo payoff it popped me when I read it. But yeah, really liked it.
I am a little bit torn on what I'm going to pick for my chapter of the week. I'm not sure if I want to do it with Ichi the Witch or Akane-banashi. I think I'll go with Ichi the Witch, and just say like I thought that it was very nice to have that payoff on the setup for Jikashirane or the prophecy magic or Sammy or whatever we're going to call her going forward on her turn. And I mean, just like the vision that she had was shocking and disturbing. And I thought like, yeah, that's a pretty good reason to want to change your mind about something. If you see something that horrifying, absolutely. And my MVP is going to be Isho. Just like he seems so dismissive for something so important. Like he's such an asshole. I really like that.
I'm going to give my MVP to Hina from Blue Box. As I said, I liked her backstory a little bit. I liked seeing her relationship with her dad and how that shaped her. I liked her actual message to Taiki about like letting your insecurities just be something that makes you stronger, like let yourself build up. That is all great. And then unfortunately, while she did kiss him and really probably crossed a very significant line there, I mean, it's notable. Like, we're reading fiction, and I think that was definitely the move that had me kind of like shocked yeah, definitely a very like messy moment, but that's what drives fiction forward. So
absolutely, she's stirring shit up, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and everything makes sense. Like as you learn more and more about her, you're like, yeah, all these things do make sense.
And what did our audience have to say?
Well, Nick, you're the voice of the people. Ichi the Witch chapter of the week is show from Akane-banashi character of the week. You're the voice of the people.
Cool. I better say something really profound then. Thank you everyone for joining us for Weekly Manga Recap. We stream the show here on twitch.tv/RoloT, and we will be back next week at the same time, same place. If you want to know exactly when the show goes live, you can follow us on social media. On BlueSky, she's RoloT, I'm Nick F. Time, and there's also the Weekly Manga Recap account. And also be sure to follow WMAR Votes so that you know when the poll is up, so that you can vote for your favorite chapter and your MVP to contribute to the thing that we read out there. We have a Discord server that will be linked wherever this is posted to. If you become part of that, then you'll get an alert when the stream goes live for the recording session. And also, there's just other stuff that goes on there. We've got a wonderful community, talks about chapters as they come out, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. And you can use that to find the Google Talk, maintained by Ninja X3i, that keeps track of all sorts of helpful information about the history of the podcast, the stuff that we've covered, series that we have covered, and recommendations for stuff in the future, all that kind of stuff. We post this on YouTube, youtube.com/Weekly Manga Recap, and video form, which has an opening sequence by Milo Jack Stillitz and Winsdale Cheddar. That's youtube.com/Weekly Manga Recap. Occasionally, it also has title cards done by Steve Man, who's already he can find by just searching for Steve Man art. You can find him in a number of different places. We also post to weeklymangarecap.podbean.com if you just want the MP3 file. It's also available on iTunes, Spotify, generally wherever you want to get your podcast, you can find Weekly Manga Recap there. And that is going to do it for this week. We'll be back next week with more manga.
Yes. And next time, we might even have jokes. I don't want to go out on a limb, but I'm planning to bring at least one.
Yeah, when we talked today, we didn't have any jokes. This is just like normal conversation for us. If you thought we were telling jokes, no, you're wrong. It's a very serious matter.
I've never joked before in my life. I don't actually really know how. I'm always intensely serious. Nick, I've never certainly done anything obnoxious for a bit at any point in my life.
Definitely not something that I didn't miss this year.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, God. Bye.